Right now, while you're watching this, your body is running a manufacturing operation. Not occasionally, not on demand. Every single second. 1,500 units produced per second. 90,000 per minute, 5.4 million per hour, and 129 million every single day. No factory on Earth operates at this scale. No machine ever built comes close, and yet, the system running inside the body of almost every adult male watching this right now is so poorly understood that most men will never think about it until something goes wrong. Today, we think about it. I'm Dr. Max, and today we are going inside the most sophisticated biological manufacturing system ever designed by evolution. Now stay with me, because what you're about to learn is going to change the way you think about your own biology for the rest of your life. Let us start with the numbers, because they are almost impossible to believe. A healthy adult male produces approximately 1,500 sperm cells every single second. That is 90,000 per minute, over 5 million per hour, and more than 129 million every 24 hours. This production never stops. It doesn't pause overnight, it doesn't take weekends off, and from the moment puberty begins, this factory runs continuously without any interruption. And here's the first thing almost nobody knows. The cells we call sperm account for only 2 to 5% of total volume of semen. The remaining 95% is precisely engineered alkaline fluid produced by seminal vesicles and the prostate, designed to protect, nourish, and transport the payload. The body doesn't just make sperm, it builds an entire life support system around them, every single time. This production happens inside the structures called Seminferous tubules. If you were to uncoil and lay them end to end, the tubules from a single testis would stretch for over half a kilometer. Half a kilometer inside a structure the size of a walnut. Inside these tubules, 2 cell types run the entire operation. Sertoli cells, called nurse cells. They provide nutrients to developing sperm. They create what biologists call the Blood-Testis barrier, a structural firewall that prevents the body's own immune system from attacking the sperm it is producing. Without this barrier, the immune system would destroy exactly what the body is trying to create. And Leydig cells, located in the surrounding tissue, which produce testosterone in response to hormonal signals from the brain. 2 cell types working together every second for decades. But here is what most people do not know about this factory. It has one critical vulnerability. One precise environmental requirement that, if violated, shuts the entire operation down, and most modern men are unknowingly violating it every single day. The human body maintains a core temperature of 37 degrees Celsius. Spermatogenesis, the production of sperm, cannot occur at that temperature. The process requires an environment 2 to 3 degrees cooler than the core body temperature, which is precisely why the testes are located outside the body, not by accident, not as an evolutionary oversight, by design, to maintain the only climate in which this factory can function. And to maintain that precise 2-degree difference, the body runs a remarkably sophisticated temperature regulation system. The Dartos muscle, a smooth muscle in the scrotal wall, wrinkles the skin when cold, reducing surface area to retain heat. The Cremaster muscle physically retracts the testes closer to the body for warmth or lowers them away from the body when cooling is needed. And deep inside, a specialized vascular network called the pampiniform plexus acts as a biological heat exchanger. Arterial blood heading toward the testes passes directly alongside the cooler venous blood leaving them. The heat transfers. The arterial blood arrives already cooled. The temperature is maintained. This is not simple biology. This is precision engineering, built by millions of years of evolution, operating automatically without your awareness. Now, what happens when something disrupts the system? There is a condition affecting approximately 40% of men diagnosed with infertility. Most of them have never heard of it. It is called a varicocele. A varicocele is essentially a varicose vein, but located inside the scrotum. The veins that should be draining blood efficiently away from the testes become enlarged and dysfunctional. Blood pools, it stagnates, and as it pools, it raises the local temperature. Remember the 2-degree rule? The factory acquires a temperature 2 to 3 degrees below core body temperature. A varicocele eliminates that margin. The temperature rises, and elevated temperature does not just slow sperm production, it damages the sperm that are already being produced. DNA fragmentation, reduced mobility, structural abnormalities, all of it traceable to a temperature problem, a plumbing problem, that in many cases is entirely correctable, but only if it is diagnosed. Most men with varicocele have no idea it exists. There's often no pain, no obvious symptom, just a gradual, invisible decline in the factory's output quality. And then there is a second condition, one that is not about performance at all, one that is about survival. Testicular cancer is the most common cancer in men between the ages of 15 and 35. Listen to it again. The most common cancer is the most physically active demographic in men who by every external measure appear healthy. Here is the critical fact, and I want you to remember this. When detected early, testicular cancer is over 95% curable. 95%. That number collapses when diagnosis is delayed. Monthly self-examination takes less than 2 minutes. The early signs: a small, painless lump, a change in size or texture, a feeling of heaviness, are detectable by hand. No equipment, no appointment. 2 minutes, once a month, 95% cure rate when caught early. Now let us talk about something that exists at the outer edge of biological possibility. Because before we discuss what modern life is doing to this system, I want to show you what evolution does when reproductive pressure reaches its absolute extreme. In the animal kingdom, reproductive competition takes forms that make human biology look conservative. Consider the tuberous bush cricket, a small insect unremarkable in almost every way, except for one biological fact that stops researchers cold every time they encounter it. The testes of the tuberous bush cricket account for 13% of its total body weight, only 14%. To put that in human terms, that would be the equivalent of 70 kg man carrying 10 kg of reproductive tissue. Why? Why would evolution produce something so extreme? Sperm competition. In a species where multiple males mate with a single female, the competition does not end with mating. It continues inside the female reproductive tract. The male who produces the most sperm wins. Evolution responds by enlarging the factory by any means necessary. Chimpanzees show the same pattern. They have significantly larger testes than humans or gorillas because chimpanzees' mating systems involve multiple males competing for the same females simultaneously. More competition, larger factory, more output. And then there is the opposite extreme. Elephants and whales have no external testes at all. Their reproductive organs are entirely internal, a condition called testicandy. At core body temperature 37 degrees, where the human system would completely shut down. These animals have involved entirely different cellular mechanisms, different proteins, different biochemical pathways, allowing spermatogenesis to produce at temperatures that would destroy human sperm entirely. The same biological goal, completely different engineering solutions, evolved across millions of years of pressure. And yet, the human system, with all its external architecture and thermoregulatory complexity, is being compromised not by predators, not by environmental extremes, but by something far more mundane. Before we talk about what modern life is doing to this system, we need to go back to the very beginning. At 7 weeks of gestation, every human embryo looks identical. Male and female, the same structure, the same tissue. Then, a single gene activates the sex-determining region Y on the Y chromosome. And everything changes. The testes form, testosterone begins, the male anatomy emerges from what was, just days before, indistinguishable from its opposite. Once built, the system runs through one hormonal chain, hypothalamus to pituitary to testes. Gonadotropin-releasing hormone from the brain stimulates the release of follicle-stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone from the pituitary gland. Follicle-stimulating hormone promotes the production and maturation of sperm in the testes. Luteinizing hormone stimulates the testes to produce testosterone. This entire system is known as the hypothalamic-pituitary-gonadal axis, the central command network that regulates male reproductive function and hormonal balance, and it is more fragile than most men realize. Two things are quietly breaking the system in most modern men. First, sleep. Most testosterone production happens during rapid eye movement sleep. Consistently sleeping under 6 hours has been shown to lower testosterone to levels typical of a man 10 years older, not gradually, measurably, within weeks. Second, metabolic health. Insulin resistance and excess visceral fat increases the activity of an enzyme called aromatase. Aromatase converts testosterone directly into estrogen. The more metabolic dysfunction, the more testosterone is lost to conversion. At the same time, chronic inflammation damaged sperm DNA through oxidative stress. The factory keeps running, but the product is compromised. Zinc and selenium are the two micronutrients most critical for protecting against this damage. Both are depleted by poor metabolic health. Both are almost never discussed. The factory is always running, but it runs under precise conditions: sleep, metabolic health, temperature, and of course, nutrition. Examine yourself monthly. 2 minutes, 95% cure rate when caught early. That number only works if you look. Share this with one man who needs to hear it. I'm Dr. Max, stay healthy, and I will see you in the next episode.